Welcome back to the channel. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you basically around modern Mexico. Right now, I'm actually on my way to the gym. So, for anyone that is interested on joining a gym here in Mexico, I want to show you this particular one. This franchises all over Mexico and Latin America. I don't think they have any in the US yet. They might eventually, but the prices are actually flexible for compared to a lot of the local gyms. I mean, a lot of local gyms they tend to be about 900 to 1,000 pesos and can go up to 1,500, 2,000 pesos per month. Anywho, so stay with me and you guys can get to know around the north side of Queretaro, Mexico. So today is Saturday. I guess it depends on the week or weekend. When it's a weekend or a week pay, you can see more traffic, and when it's not a week pay, definitely you can see the lack of cars out there. Like, I guess people, of course, they don't have much money, so they're not really spending much. I think here in Mexico they get paid every other week, or if you work for a business. And as you many know, Mexico has a lot of informal business. Like your little taco stands, a lot of the stands, people, like the flea markets, all that stuff is informal. They're not really registered. Like that business that you see right there on the right, that's, I think they sell barbacoa or something like that. Those guys, they usually there on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, because that's I think the process to cook barbacoa is a long process. I'm not really familiar with the whole process, but here in YouTube you can find pretty much what it takes to cook barbacoa, in case you are wondering. Anyway, one thing about driving here in Mexico, the lack of stoplights. As you can see, they have a lot of those little speed bumps, basically all over. Well, we're gonna talk about this city in particular. They have a lot of speed bumps. They don't have that much stoplights or stop signs. So I mean, the driving in this city in particular, it can be a little frustrating at times because of the lack of, I guess, driving culture here. The driving culture can be a little rough. And then since like this city is a growing city, I mean, it's still growing, it's growing like crazy. We've been living in the city for 4 years, and from 4 years to now, I mean, it's a big difference. And of course, I mean, more families are moving here because of safety. A lot of Mexican families feel safer here. A lot of them coming from states or cities that are basically really corrupted by the narco, or or there's not enough work. And this city or state still offers a lot of employment, and I spoke to several Mexicans that moved from other states, and they all say that this city pays better than where they came from. And have in mind that a lot of these people came from the smaller cities or even towns, like little towns, where mostly it's agriculture and a lot of informal businesses as well. But I mean, if you go to school, you have a college degree, then you want to go to Mexico City, here Querétaro, Guadalajara, Monterrey as well. Monterrey actually pays even more than here, but the to live over there is a lot more costly if you want to compare like here or even Mexico City. I mean, the rents over there, they tend to be really expensive. Back to the driving. Yeah, you just gotta be alert. Just basically keep an eye on everybody here, because like I said, the driving can be a little challenging. See, like this guy right here, he's supposed to do 60 and he's not, and he's got that motorcycle in front of him. He didn't use he or she, I'm not sure who that was. See, no turning signals, and you see a lot of that, unfortunately, all the time. See that right there? Okay, so they cut this guy through again. Where I'm at right now is the slow lane. This is 60 kilometers, and then the one on my left is 80. But you know, many people here, they don't respect the I guess the signs, the laws. A lot of times, if you see to my right, that is a bike lane. A lot of times you see people driving on that one, especially if I guess if they're on a rush. And yeah, I mean, by the law, I don't even know if they have a law like that here. You're not supposed to basically drive there. You're not even supposed to park there. If your car breaks down, you're not even supposed to park there. I know that because I read that on the transit law, whatever, here in the city. But I mean, well, I mean, if your car breaks down, I mean, and you don't have anywhere else to park, yeah, I'll be parking over there, waiting for the tow truck or something. But you can get a ticket. So I saw that online. Yeah, that you're not allowed. But yeah, you can say that again. It's not like they're gonna respect that. But anyway, so yeah, you just gotta be patient and get used to it. I mean, I know a lot of you, you're not planning on driving. A lot of you, myself, you know, I was out of car for 3-4 months, and Uber and Didi, which are the two platforms here in the city. I think there's another one called InDrive, I believe. Those, they come pretty quick, but a lot of times, you know, they might cancel on you, and then you have to wait for the next one. So, you know, ballpark, you might have to wait 10 to 20 minutes to get picked up, basically by Uber. And Friday, Saturday, and Sundays, they tend to be more expensive because there is less drivers working. So yeah, if you use Uber from Friday to Sunday, they tend to be more expensive. And so I was like, you know what? I think I need to get me a little truck again, because yeah, I like to be independent. I like to have my freedom to just open my door, get in my car, and go wherever I need to go. But yeah, I mean, it seems, but yeah, but the driving here is it can be challenging. Living here for 4 years, and there's other places in the country that the driving is not as bad as here. Querétaro, unfortunately, is ranked #1 for the worst driving in the entire country. Yeah, even worse than Mexico City. And I thought the driving in Mexico City, in the state of Mexico, was bad. No. Here is really bad, like literally really bad. I like to go to Guadalajara a lot, like the whole state of Jalisco. I just love it out there. And when I go out there, I mean, even driving around Guadalajara, I mean, and the Guadalajara is way bigger than this city. I think it's the third or second biggest city in the country. The driving is not as bad as here. I mean, it's still bad, but not like this one here. And unfortunately, every day or all the time, you see really bad accidents, especially with the motorcycles. Those guys. I don't know if you saw on the camera, but there was a dead dog on the right side. I'll put it on the video. Yeah, unfortunately, we have a lot of stray dogs here too, and poor things. They looking for food or water or a place to rest, and they have to go through these, these avenues or roads, freeways, and like I said, a lot of times people they won't stop. They just be hauling ass. So anyway, back to Guadalajara. Yeah, I mean, I love it out there because it's really nice. The people are just way friendlier than here. The food is amazing. And for anybody that lives in Guadalajara or been in Guadalajara before, you know what I'm talking about. One thing I got to tell you about this place is, like, if you're coming from a city like myself and my wife and I, this city, or it was good to us it made our transition really easy, coming from the US to here, because we're coming from the city too. So, and of course, I'm not comparing that, the cities in the US are the same here, because they're not, of course, but the transition is not as bad. But like in this city in particular, you need to know some Spanish. Yeah, you're gonna run into people. I run into people that speaks some English. Actually, I run into a couple of people that spoke really good English, and they're from here. I don't know if they ever live in the U.S. or they study in the U.S. I don't know, but their English was pretty good. But you might have a hard time to find someone that speaks English or can help you. And we, because I speak Spanish, I'm pretty fluent in Spanish, and my wife, she doesn't. So she speaks some. She understands more than she can speak. And from time to time, I put her on a test, like, okay, go practice your Spanish, like if we go to the mall or if we are shopping or whatever. And a lot of times I can see that when there's that barrier of language, like the locals here, they get annoyed. They get annoyed, like they're, some of them are really helpful, but you can tell some of them they get bothered, like, oh well, like you live in Mexico but you don't speak Spanish, something like that. I mean, they're not rude or anything, but you can tell, like, they're just annoyed by that they having hard time to communicate with you. And then of course when I notice my wife, when she gets stuck, then I'll jump in and then I'll say whatever I gotta say, like, hey, okay, we need these, I need that, hey, how much for these, or I need a size number 9, size number 2, whatever. But yeah, overall, it's gonna make your transition a lot easier. You're gonna find a lot of stores from the U.S. like H-E-B, Walmart, Home Depot, Office Depot, restaurants, all the fast food, Wendy's, Burger King, KFC, Popeyes. Unfortunately, we still don't have Chick-fil-A, but I hope they come soon. In fact, talking about moving, I think in Monterrey they opened the first Chipotle in Mexico, and I'm sure it's gonna do just fine. I mean, people, of course, you can make everybody happy. Some people might complain about it. Here's what I found. And but I think it's good for business because honestly, those companies are bringing jobs to the local people here. It's not like they're hiring expats or Americans, because they're not. and people that is from the U.S. or Canada that live already here, it's not like they're gonna fucking work there or apply for a job, because they won't. And sometimes they are the ones that are whining about it, like, oh, I'd rather go and eat with Conchita or Pedro tacos. Yeah, that's fine. You can go anytime, but trust me, Mexicans like a lot anything that is a lot of Mexicans. They're like the American culture, music, food, the style, a lot of the stuff, a lot of the music. They're really into the American lifestyle and stuff. And yeah, I mean, if they're bringing jobs here to the country, to the local people, hey, you know what? Open more Chipotles, more Wendy's, Chick-fil-A's, whatever. You know what? I'll tell you what, I spoke to locals here, and those companies that maybe you think they're garbage or they shouldn't come here, they pay better than the local businesses here. Okay? Just for you to know. They do pay better. And see, people that don't think about that, they just, want to hate right away. Like, oh, no, I'm going to support the locals and stuff like that. Well, let me tell you something about that. So right here on my left, my right, there's a mall. It's the biggest mall here in the city. It's called Antea Mall. And on that mall, you can find from, inexpensive clothing to really expensive Gucci, Prada, Valentino, all that good stuff. They have Nike store, Eagle, American Eagle, all that stuff. Gap, you name it. Also, they have Cheesecake Factory as well in there. They opened about a year ago, I think. Yeah, we've been there a few times already. We like it. Yeah, so I'm actually 3 minutes away from the gym. To be honest with you, I don't know if you are going to ever get used to living here, because here, living here it's a lot different. It's a different ball game here. And let's be honest, most of us that move here, we do it for money reasons, because it's cheaper to live here. Okay, your dollar stretches a little more in this country. Not like it used to, though, because everything went up. Everything has gone up, just like anywhere else, like in the U.S. and anywhere. We went out of the country to Latin America about a few months ago, and yeah, over there, same thing. Everybody's complaining about how expensive it is to live out there and stuff like that. So don't think it's only in the USA that the economy is messed up. It's also here in Mexico. In Latin America, Europe, everywhere. We're not spending as we used to, because we are basically more careful with our money. But if you want to compare what we spend here and what we get here for our money, yeah, of course we will never live the way we live here in the U.S. like the way we live here. But of course, it takes some getting used to it as well. It's not that simple. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna move to Mexico and everything is gonna be nice and beautiful. Not all the time. There's a lot of getting used to it. The honeymoon ends quick. And yeah, sure. Many Americans and Canadians, they see these countries like escape, like, oh shit, I'm gonna go to Mexico and fuck it, I can live off $1,000 or whatever. Yeah, sure, you can. Really modest, but you can. But trust me, it's not that pretty, because you're not gonna live, let's say, with about $1,000. You're not gonna live where I live, because where I live, we live like in a middle class area. It's gated community. It's not like a real Mexico, to be honest. It's just completely different. It's like a modern Mexico. And you know, you have these small pockets all through the country. In this city, you have a lot of pockets like that because, like as you know, as I mentioned earlier, the city is still growing, and yeah, I mean, they're building all these the small communities for the Mexicans or anybody that can afford to live there because it's for the Mexican. Sometimes can be a little expensive too. So to be honest with you, sometimes I wonder how they can afford to live in places like that because in Mexico it's becoming like the USA. It's a lot of more. They're doing a lot of mortgage, credit cards, all that stuff. Mexico is becoming like the U.S. Hold on one second. Let me get my ticket. Oh, and one thing about the parkings in Mexico, a lot of times you gotta get a ticket like this one. You save this ticket because I lost this ticket once and I had to pay about $10 to get it back because this they do it as a safety for precaution, so that way nobody is, your car is more secure, and you don't have to worry about your car getting broken into, which it's not completely true. I mean, a lot of times guys is sneaking and they unfortunately break into the cars, and a lot of times these companies, they don't want to pay for the damages. So, but I think I don't know about this city, but in Mexico City, they approve a law that if your car gets broken into, the company, the parking lot company, they got to pay for any damages in your car. Because before they used to just wash their hands and say, "Oh no, well, it's not our problem," blah 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 blah, and they just leave you hanging with all the damages, and you got to pay out of pocket. So anyway, I just got here and I think I'm going to park right here. It's Saturday, so there's not that many people out here, and it's covered, which I like. So, oops, what are you doing? I'm like, so yeah, that was my little driving to the gym. So now it's time to work out, and so this is basically how is I guess the driving Mexico Querétaro. It's a nice city though. Don't get me wrong. It's a city with a lot of opportunities. Safe. It's really safety. I mean safety. It's a safe place still. Fortunately, not like other parts in Mexico that are unfortunately really bad with crime and cartels and all that stuff. But it's still livable here. But let me tell you, this is not a cheap place to live, especially for Mexican standards. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment if you want. If you have any questions, just leave a comment. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
So I'm just gonna show you really quick what the shape looks like. This franchise is all over Mexico and Latin America. It's called Smart Feet, and if you compare these gyms to the local gyms, there's a big gap in between. These gyms are a lot cleaner. The machines are really good. If something breaks, they'll fix it right away. Versus a local gym, they're just not as clean. The machines are older, and if something breaks, um, it takes longer for them to fix it, and of course the prices. This gym, the membership that I have is $5.99, which allowed me to go to all of them, and a local gym is only one facility and probably takes double of what I pay here.